So you know us older sassy ladies need to look our best, want to look our best, to feel beautiful and sexy. These are going to be some of the things that I do to make myself feel like a woman. Want my skin to look good, because makeup does not look good no matter what kind of makeup you use and how you use it, unless you've got a good foundation to work with. So we want to work with our skin and make the most beautiful, sexy skin for our age that we can. So please stay tuned, because we're going to have a ball with this one. It's all about serums. It's all about serums, ladies. My husband thinks I have great skin. I don't think I look too bad for 55, and a lot of it is because I've been a skincare junkie most of my life. So this is going to be such a fun series. We're going to be starting a new series on the best skincare over the age of 50. If you're in your 40s, you might enjoy this one as well. This is all for anti-aging, and we're going to start this series off with my picks for budget-friendly serums. My passion has always been skincare, and yes, makeup as well. I used to be a licensed esthetician, and I enjoy skincare because I can see what a good skincare regimen can do for your face, for your body. And the older we get, the more we realize the importance of having a good regime. So we're going to start out this series with my favorite picks right now on serums. But I'm going to narrow it down to my top 4 or 5 that are budget friendly. So I'm going to start off by saying these are not medical grade. If you can afford medical grade, that is the best way to get the most results and most bang for your buck. If you're just starting out or you're on a budget like I am, you have to work within a certain range. So I'm going to be talking about the ones that I think actually do something for the price. So we're going to start right out with a company called The Ordinary, and I'm sure you've heard of it, and I'm going to explain exactly why I'm using it, what's in it, what's it for, what targeted areas that we want to address with each serum. So I'm going to start right out with something that everyone should have, and I'm lumping it into the serum category, but you would be calling it an antioxidant if you were going to have a subcategory for this. And this one is The Ordinary Vitamin C, and this one is vitamin C suspension 23%, and it's in spheres. Keeps it active, and we want it active as it sinks into the skin as deep as we can. Again, this is not medical grade, but I have enjoyed this because it brightens up my complexion, and I can tell the difference when I'm using it and when I'm not. So The Ordinary has different forms of vitamin C. You can check and see which form you prefer. They even have a powdered form, but we're going to talk about this one today. This particular product comes out like a cream. So you're wondering, why are you putting this into the serum category? Well, because inside this are little spheres that you can feel. It almost feels gritty, but then they break open and apply and go into a liquid form. Do you see this? It turns into a serum, and it has the vitamin C suspended. And then it breaks it open, it gets into the skin, and then you have a brightened complexion. Do you see that? I love this stuff. The first vitamin C product I ever tried was this one. If this is something you're interested in, I will definitely link everything in the description box below. You can research it more in depth on their website, but I'm just going to give you some of the main points. Vitamin C is a great way to block pollutions. It's an antioxidant. It brightens the skin tone, and everyone should have this in their regime for sure if you're over 40 or 50. The next thing I want to talk about is Argireline, and you may or may not know what this is for. This is a very liquidy, like water. You can almost hear it. This is for those fine lines and wrinkles. This has some good science behind it. Some people think it's faux science. I've actually seen it work if you're consistent with it and you get a higher percentage. This Argireline is 10%, and this one is very watery, so I usually either tap it on with my fingers into the target areas where I have some fine lines around my eyes or on my forehead, or mix it with another serum, which you can do. These are droppers, so you have to be very careful, but it is very liquid, as you can see. It will last a long time if you're careful with it. These are very affordable products, but adding this to any of your skincare routine will help with fine lines and wrinkles over a period of time. It is not as dramatic as medical grade, as I've said before, or Retin-A, but it's for somebody who wants the topical, who wants to stay in the budget, and who wants to actually see something work. It takes a little time, you gotta be consistent with it, but it will work over time. The next one I want to talk about is Matrixyl, and this is usually what I mix with it because this is another product that is great for addressing lines and wrinkles. The Matrixyl, this one is 10% HA, and it's a high strength peptide formulation. This is a great one to add to. Mixing these two together is a great way to do it. You can also mix it with other things if you wish, but this will bump up the effectiveness of the Argireline. So, and I learned that through some ladies out here on YouTube. By putting these together, it really makes a bigger powerhouse and get a little more bang for your buck. So if you're interested in, if you really have some, want to address the fine lines and wrinkles and get a little bit more visible results, put those two together. That's a good combination to start with, to address those, soften them, make the appearance of them look less severe, less deep. Put those two together. So Matrixyl, this is a great one to add. Niacinamide and zinc. This is niacinamide, 10%. This is a high strength vitamin and mineral blemish formula. Okay, so the reason I'm pointing this out is I don't use this one all the time. But a lot of us who are pre, mid, or post-menopause have had return of acne, or even acne for the first time, or just the occasional breakout that we've never had before, we're not used to. This is a great one to add. This one really does address it deep within. It calms the skin down, and it really helps prevent those breakouts. So if you're one that does suffer with pre, post, mid menopausal symptoms, or you just have always had issues with like breakouts and acne, talk to your dermatologist. But if you want to stay on the drugstore budget level, this is a good one to add into your system, your regime, and see what you can do to reduce the amount of your breakouts and the severity of it. It's a good item. I do not have it very often. I got it for my daughter, and it did subside some of the more big breakouts that she had, and it did kind of calm it down, and she has them less often. So this is a good product for whatever age you're in, but this one is great if you have pimple problems. Okay, now I want to touch base with two other things that you should always have in your regime. So if you are not on Retin-A yet, that is something to look into, because, and of course that's medical grade, but if you can, sometimes your insurance will cover a huge portion of it, so then it becomes budget friendly. I always say, if you are in your 40s, even 30s maybe, but 40s, 50s, 60s, if you can, and you talk to your dermatologist, get on Retin-A. Start with the lowest dosage, the 0.25, and work your way up to 1. I was on 1 for quite a while, and I decided to take a break from it. So I am actually not on Retin-A at the moment, but I do agree that that is the most effective when it comes to firming, wrinkles, anything anti-aging. That's your best form of defense, is getting Retin-A. But if you're not sure about it, can't afford it, don't want it, or for whatever reason you're unable to use it, one of the things you should look into is a pretty substantially strong retinol. A retinol is a very lighter form of Retin-A, and you can get this over the counter. But I have this one by The Ordinary that is a retinol 0.5% in Squalane, so it's hydrating at the same time. Because as you know, Retin-A, if you're on it or if you ever used it, it dries your skin out. You can get dry and patchy, and that's part of the exfoliation process, and there are ways to deal with it. But if you want to start from the beginning, you can start into the retinols. and gradually increase your percentage until you're able to use it without irritation. This is a good one to start with, 0.5% retinol and squalane. All of these products are pure. They don't add anything that they don't need to. They're all water-free, alcohol-free, oil-free, silicone-free, nut-free, vegan, gluten-free, and cruelty-free. That's one of the reasons I do like this brand, and it's affordable. So look into this one if you're interested in adding a retinol to your program. This is like the frosting on the cake. All of those were the foundational products that you need, and there are of course more that you should add to, but these are the basics. But to top it all off, this is a multi-technology peptide serum called the Buffet. So this is the one that has it all. This is a really big powerhouse from The Ordinary. It's a great serum. You can have it with or without the copper peptides. And this is great for anything anti-aging. Anything. Addresses skin tone and pores and firmness and everything that you can possibly think of that you would want. This is a great serum to add. This is what I would call the frosting, but it's a great serum to have to add to your skincare regime. Fight those signs of aging. So those are my picks for now for my top serums. These are all affordable. I will link the Ordinary website down below. Do your own research. Make sure it's something that you think would work for you, and let me know what you think about this new series. I'm going to be posting twice a week. The next one I'm going to do is probably cleansers. And when we're older, especially if we're using any kind of retinol or retin-A, we're going to want some sort of hydrating cleansers. So I'm going to show you budget-friendly, good quality, award-winning cleansers in the next one. So please stay tuned for the next one. I really appreciate you all very, very much. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all in my next video.